In my last video, we made these awesome looking temple tiles. Now we need to make the walls that go along with them, this week on Tabletop Witchcraft. Hey there, welcome back to Tabletop Witchcraft. This week we're going to tackle the walls for our temple tiles, and I got a lot of inspiration from the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, so that's where this whole theme has come from. Now, something new to the channel, if you look down below under the video, you'll notice a join button where you can show that you're a financial supporter of the channel. It's a couple of bucks and it gets you a little star next to your name in the comments and gets you maybe a little bit more commenting action on my end when it comes to me sifting through those. Another way to help support the channel, hit up Firelight Fables candles for a 10% discount on your entire order with discount code TWC10 at checkout. Also in the description below, I got a lot of things here to talk about. I've got a link to the new Anycubic Photon D2. Tons of information there to check out. I'll show you that off in this video. A link to Zane Craft's YouTube channel, who designed the wall plaques that went inside of all these walls. And if you want to pick up a set of plans to help support the channel, there's a link to itch.io where you can grab these. And if you want to try and win a set, just like and subscribe to the channel. I'll announce the winner next week on my Instagram. Alright, if you're ready, let's go grab some supplies and let's get crafting. Alright, so if you've been following the channel for a while now, you know that I love burning candles, not only when I'm crafting, but when I'm playing D&D as well, or any tabletop games. It just helps to set the mood. Now, I have a set of plans here. This is not what it looks like if you pick them up. This is kind of like a working in progress thing. That way I make sure that if you pick them up, you have the exact plans you need to build exactly what you're seeing on screen. And here's a couple of different cuts, and I'm showing some sizes here just to give you an idea of what we're going to be working with. Here's kind of a finished one that I've ended up using the brick jig on. I love using that thing. It makes this such a breeze. And you can see what we're left with when we use the new brick jig from Shifting Lands. We're going to have a whole bunch of these strips of bricks right here that we can quickly place on any surface that we're working on. And it gives us that individual brick look, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I love that look. It comes out a lot better than if you're just going to take a pen or a pencil and mark that brick texture onto the surface of foam. Okay, so these bricks are going to be about 1/4 of an inch thick, allowing us to place 5 stacks of these on either side, leaving the perfect size opening for the plaques that we're going to print off from Zane Crafts. You can see on this one, I've left a little bit more room on the right side. That's because we're going to place a couple of toothpicks on one side to make our corner piece for one of our walls. Now, the toothpicks aren't necessary completely, but you know, I like doing that. It just adds a little bit more rigidity to these corner wall sections. Alright, now for this piece, it's going to be pretty much a trapezoid cut to length, and we're going to slice it 3 times. The reason we're doing that, one is to make the top portion of kind of what would be like the big planter section for all the flowers easy to cut out, and then to mirror that look down below, I just cut it again instead of having to draw that in with a pen. Now, getting extra use out of our Shifting Lands brick jig, I'm going to place this piece of foam in here and use all of these marks to just get even spacing on all the bricks that are going to be on the top of the wall. If you're enjoying this video and my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, now this piece is going to be for the perimeter around the planter, and you're going to see here I kind of screw this up. You know, it's hard sometimes to film these and get the right cuts. I was doing this at a really weird angle, and yeah, I ran that off of the straight edge. Not a big deal. A lot of these, if it's not cut perfectly straight or you have some issues like this, you can still use it because we're going to put a ton of different plants on these, and it'll be very easy to cover up any mistakes you might have as you go along. Here I would recommend using hot glue. It's going to hold this in place pretty quickly allow you to keep working. You could use some tacky glue, but you know, if it shifts on you, you might have some problems. Everybody knows I love using hot glue. I love the speed that it allows me to work. Alright, watch your digits right here. Okay, now when it comes to your brick texture, I want to have a little bit of grout between these, but unlike my Archer Tower video that I did, which was the first video that showcased the brick jig, I don't want the grout to actually show on these, but I want the look still. So I'm using some of this light patch and paint to fill in all of the grout lines. If you wanted to see the grout, obviously check out, I'll put a link up above to the first video, the Archer Tower video, where you can see how you can get a really cool, realistic look to the grout and the stonework. Alright, I wanted to show off this super moss. It was my initial idea for what I wanted to do for the greenery on top of my walls, and I just wasn't really happy with it. There's lots of different things you could use out there, but personally I needed to take a break from this for a few minutes and think about how I want to tackle that. So while I was taking a break from that, I decided to switch over and do a little work on the new Anycubic Photon D2, and I want to talk a little bit about this technology. On the channel before, you've seen me use a lot of the LCD ones where they have this screen that exposes layers to be printed to the light matrix below, and that light matrix is composed of several different lamps that shoot light vertically. So when we talk about resolution and precision with an LCD, that's what we're talking about, the LCD screen resolution. With this new DLP technology, it's using a projector that shoots a beam of light towards the DMD, which is 1,000 mirrors, reflecting the light to where it should cure the resin. Then those beams of light hit the block of glass where the resin vat is, right? So in this case, when we talk about resolution and precision, we're talking about the projector precision, which in this case is 2K. Now another really cool fact is that each pixel on this printer is 51 microns, which is really impressive. Down in the description below, you'll see a link to Zane Craft's YouTube channel, also to where you can pick up these files so you can print them off for this video as well. This is what a couple of them look like. I almost took out my airbrush and airbrushed the primer and painted all these up, but it was just as easy to do it with the paintbrush. Now, I want to go totally different with this paint scheme, so I'm going blue. I did a little research online and I came across some pictures that I just fell in love with this look. Don't be too worried about the exact precision of painting each one of these blocks or bricks or whatever, because with all the dry brushing and washes, you're never going to see if you went over on one of these blocks. Now a little tiny bit of this oil wash over this really brings the dry brush together with the painted blue in the back. You're going to want to hit this up with a little bit of spray to lock all this in, because I felt that the wash never quite, I don't know if it didn't cure 100%, but it left a little blue residue on my fingers, so a little matte varnish over that locked it in real nice. Alright, a little dry brush of gold after I've done some Nuln oil over these will add some nice highlights and details. Here's what a couple other of the walls look like that Zane crafted for us. Really awesome stuff. Now, this is something that I wanted to show off. On the inside here, what I'm going to do is place a little tacky glue. These stick in there, no problem. But right here, I had one that didn't fit. And I don't use this that often, but man, was I happy that I had this. It's the little table saw by Proxon. Man, this stuff goes right through balsa wood, 3D resin, all this stuff. And man, I can't tell you how much fun it actually was to use this thing. So, not something you're gonna use all the time, but it's one of those things that it's just nice to have when you need it. Okay, final dry brush of like a white with a little bit of like an ice blue over it that you can see in the background, making sure to hit the 3D printed wall to kind of bring it all together. Okay, now we're going to add a little static grass. I absolutely love this static grass applicator. Link to all the products you see in this video to Amazon. You'll find them down below. You want to make sure you layer this, a couple different layers, bringing and building up the length of the grass. Now I'm breaking out, this is what I decided to do, was go to my diorama recipe stuff here and make my own plants, and I was very happy with the way these turned out. You want to make sure that some of these plants actually hang and droop over the walls. Again, I was going for the look of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Alright, now if you're concerned with how fragile some of these pieces might be, again, you can put on here whatever you want. This is just to give you an idea of the final look that I was going for. Alright, so for the last video in this series, I'm going to do some scatter terrain that I usually do to wrap up these tile series. Now, down below in the description is a link to Zane's website where you can grab the 3D files to print out on any 3D printer you have. Hopefully you take a look at the Anycubic Photon D2. I was really impressed with that. Link in the description down below for you to check that out. Also, please head on over to Patreon. Check that out to help support the channel. It's a really great way for you to get something in return. You can hang out with me live here at night while I'm crafting and making these videos. We can bounce ideas off each other, and it's a great way to get to know everybody out there. Alright, until next time, I'll see you around.